This is a special message to an old friend of mine. His name was Kirby. I was wondering about how he was doing. It just kind of occurred to me. So I thought I'd make a message for him. For Kirby, my dear old friend, back in high school, at the public schools, and at our private school. I thought about you since I knew you from school. I was wondering if you were okay. You were a latent prophet. You are royal. You know what genes you have. You are also what is called an Arcturian. Like one of your old friends, me. Don't give up on your life. We're almost there. Neither of us really has anybody anymore. So be careful about anyone you call a friend. Chances are you'd end up like me if it came down to it with your so-called friends. I think you've made the right decision for you, obviously, since it's for you. Keep your head down. That's smart. Strategic. And you've always been kind of cynical. But if you're going to survive, it's time for some of that to change. I'm always going to be here for you. Always. The revolution is coming. Just hold on. I know you have to deal with a difficult situation where you're living. You have different people around. You know, it's stressful for you, probably. I was using my pendulum and saw, oh, looks like he's having a lot of trouble at home. It's probably pretty hard. Remember, though, no matter how hard it is, you get told, live in love. But I finally figured out what that definition of love is. It's lust. It's lusting after something. That's not love. Like saying, oh, I love this, or oh, I love you. That's lusting after something. It's not love like how we think of it. It's not unconditional. But then again, it's a little bit easier for me to explain it to myself, let alone to other people, because I died once. I know what that unconditional love feels like. So I have a little bit of an advantage there. But it's not a feeling of, oh, I love you, or, oh, I love this possession I have, or, oh, I love my girlfriend, my spouse, my mother, my brother, my sister. Love is to covet, or to lust after. That's not it. That's a warped definition of love. And it's a trick on purpose. I wanted to tell you I was sorry. When we were younger, different times we were around at school, different places. Since I was just a little bit older, I had seniority. I didn't really know how to stand up for people. Anybody. I hardly knew how to stand up for my own brother. But even despite that, and seeing friends like you at school get made fun of, and I wouldn't know how to stand up for him, Kirby, the planet is anchoring its frequency as we speak. And as one very powerful Constantine-type healer exorcist, I would say, told me, the first and second densities are clearing out negative energies, which would explain some of why we are having issues. Or you could hear it backwards as in ET 101, the fifth dimension descending. But either way, up, down, back, forwards, seems to be the same for them, honestly. And they have to delineate some kind of linear up, down, wherever, in order for us to understand. So during this time, turmoil is pretty likely. It's just what has to happen, because we're surviving the apocalypse. But here's the news. If you hold out, Kirby, you're gonna be freed. You don't believe me? I literally fought my way out. And I know that all of you guys can see it if you want. So, you can too. Even if fighting your way out just means fighting your way to stay alive until the cavalry can come in and break you out. But this means believing in some things maybe you won't want to necessarily. You were always kind of a skeptic, I remember, back in our school days. Learning new systems of belief and new philosophy is sometimes a difficult thing. Might not make any sense. I mean, for example, should a government be spying on its people? Well, as you've noticed, we don't have a government anymore. And since we literally don't have a government anymore, whether or not the government should spy on you, when it's literally gone postal global, we're going to take over everything, I think that settles the matter. Because it was their spying on you in the first place that allowed it all to happen. There are too many people like me, men and women, who were holding back the tide of sheer evil of revelation passing over this earth. We stand at the front, holding back the floodgates until just the right time. And then when those floodgates overpour, it's not fire and sulfur, because it's transmuted to a sea of crystalline, beautiful glass of diamonds. I want you to know, Curb, as long as I'm alive, I will never leave you behind. Ever. You just have to be willing to get up and walk. You're seeing me do it right in front of you. Sure, it's slow. It's slow going. Sufferers of satanic programming, like you kind of were too, all have this problem. It's normal. But ultimately, they can't stop us. Maybe they could slow us down. They can't stop us. They never will, and they've already lost. All you gotta do is outwit, something I know you'd be pretty good at, in my opinion. Outstand. You've already been doing that. And outlast. That's the most important one. Don't give up on your life. Outlast it. Outlast them. Outlast it. Outlast them. Outlast it. You can outlast them. Just like the show Survivor. Because we're survivors. You will survive if you are determined to, Kirby. You have to be determined to, though. You have to decide life or death. Okay, pick life. Alright, these different things I have to do. They're all unfamiliar to me. I don't really understand any of it. Some of it makes no sense. It sounds like BS. Well, I found myself in that position where it was survival, life, or death. What am I going to pick? I picked life. And it meant weird angels and Jesus all over the place. But it worked. And I went around in that place telling people, look, Jesus works. Whether you want to believe what the heck the guy's saying or not, Jesus works. I love you, Kirby. And I always have. You like my channel? Child of Zion? Blessed One? I call my channel ArcturianPhilosophy.